The Washington Wizards have re-signed Corey Kispert to a 4-year, $54 million extension. But the question remains, is he now here to stay or is he now a trade asset? Come on, we're going to answer that question and more next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Brandon Scott again. And look, your favorite podcast now has a newsletter, everybody. Introducing the Locked On Wizards Daily Newsletter, a one-stop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. And tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. All right, everybody, we have a lot to talk about now with the newsletter. It is a new thing in Locked On. Now, I would not be writing the articles. I was at first, but due to my work schedule, I'll be unable to provide the articles for the newsletter. But look, Locked On has a lot of people that not only are going to be doing a lot of good NBA coverage, but a lot of good Wizards coverage to help your boy out, man. So I definitely recommend it, guys. It's free, and it keeps you up to date with everything Washington Wizards. So look, let's get into tonight's content. The Washington Wizards re-signed Corey Kispert to a 4-year, $54 million extension. So we're definitely going to respond to that. But the question remains, everybody, does that mean he's here to stay, or does that mean they take the Deni Avdia route and end up making him a trade asset? And plus, someone's about to buy Capital One. Let me tell you. So we're going to definitely talk about that. So like I said, a lot to talk about tonight, guys. Breaking news, man. They had till 6 o'clock today to come to an agreement with a contract extension. And by God, they did it. The Washington Wizards, again, re-signed Corey Kispert to a 4-year, $54 million contract extension. So we're going to read the press release straight from the Washington Wizards, and they just put this out a moment ago. And it says, obviously, again, Wizards signed Kispert to a contract extension. 4th-year forward, average career highs in points and assists last season. So it goes on to say the Washington Wizards announced today the team has signed Corey Kispert to a contract extension. Per team policy, the terms of the deal were not disclosed, even though, the contract is coming out to the public. Quote unquote, Corey is someone who positively impacts our environment daily. He consistently shows up for the organization as both a player and a teammate, embodying the passion and professionalism we value, said Wizards general manager Will Dawkins. We're excited that he has the opportunity to continue his growth and development in Washington. He is a relentless worker who has added to his game each and every season. We look forward to his further evolution in the coming years. So again, Kispert was selected by the Wizards with the 15th overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft out of Gonzaga. In his 3 seasons with the Wizards, he has averaged 10.9 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game in 231 games, including 103 starts. The Edmonds, Washington native, owns career shooting percentages of 48% for the field and 38% from 3, and became the quickest player in franchise history to 300 made threes on November 24th, my birthday, 2023, at Milwaukee in his 165th career game. So let's go ahead and let's dig deep in this and give you guys my analysis and response to this. Number one, really good contract. 4 years, $54 million is a really good contract. If you look at, because right now is busy times in the NBA, man, with the people being re-signed. I'm gonna go over a list of other players who are currently being re-signed because, like I said, today was the day. Şengün, 5 years, $185 million. And obviously, Kispert, totally different player. But one guy I'm looking at with a similar payday was Moses Moody. And I'm trying to pull up his contract. Don't have it, but like I said, Moses Moody signed a similar contract. And these are two guys that are very similar. They can both play two guard, they both can play small forward, but 4 years, $54 million is a really good contract for Corey Kispert. Because look, Corey Kispert he is a better player every year. He has gotten better every single season. We know what he is. He's a player who has high basketball IQ, a guy he's a sniper behind the arc, a guy who can slash the basket, who can attack the basket, who has improved ball handling, and a guy who moves well without the ball. And you know what I'm saying? That is a skill that is often forgotten in NBA. But his ability to move without the ball is man, I'm telling you, is a class in itself. So, like I said, Corey Kispert, I'm a big fan of this contract. I've been known that I wanted them to pay him. Look, we're down the road of a long rebuild. But look, eventually we get to a point where we want to be a contending team. We want to be a playoff team year in, year out. We want to be a championship team year in and year out. And you need a guy like Corey Kispert. Now, obviously, 4 years. To piss you a year after a lot of these vets contracts come off the books. Because, Jordan Poole, 3 years. Jonas Valanciunas, 3 years. Sadiq Bey, 3 years. And Kyle Kuzma, 3 years. So with him having a 4-year contract, it kind of is a year. It gives you one more year after you offload these contracts. And it really gives him, an opportunity to see if he can, mesh with this core once they become developed and ready to roll, man. But it's a good move because, like I said, he's a very underrated leader in his locker room. And he's a guy who he can definitely play. He's gotten better year in, year out. He's gotten better every single year. So I am a big fan of this contract extension. Now, the question remains, everybody, does this mean he stays in the long term? Or do they take the Deni Avdija route and end up moving him at some point? And look, you can look at both ways and say, it's really 50-50 at this point because at one point, Deni Avdija was considered a future piece for this team. But they signed him to a very team-friendly extension and ended up moving him to Portland for, again, Malcolm Brogdon, Bob Carrington, 2029 first-round pick and 2 second-round picks. So do they take the same route with Corey Kispert? You guys get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Is he a future piece here? Is he going to be part of the team going forward? Or is this another move for them to eventually move him at some point? So, me personally, I like Corey Kispert. I think he's a player that you need to stick around. He's a shooter. I think he works well in tandem with Keyshawn George's second unit. And like I said, he's been a better player every year. He's a guy that year in, year out, every single year he's gotten better. And he's that sniper that we need. We need more shooters in this team. He provides consistent shooting from behind the arc, man. So I think, you definitely consider him, a piece for the long term. But here's the thing. Could they take the route and trade him? Absolutely. Like I said, if you look at Deni Avdija, if you look at his contract, they ended up moving on from him. And, he had one of the cheapest, most team-friendly contracts in the NBA, man. So, like I said, if they can move him, they can move Corey Kispert. And that's kind of where I'm at with everything is that it's 50-50 right now. Because right now, Will Dawkins, again, is playing chess, not checkers. And he's going to get value from most of the veterans on this team, if not most of these Tommy Shepard picks. Look, they retained Johnny Davis, but look, the ball's in his court, right? Let's say Rui Hachimura, he was moved before Will Dawkins even came around, but they moved Deni. So more and more you're seeing Tommy Shepard's picks not on the team anymore. Right now, you have 2 left. So, which is Corey Kispert and Johnny Davis. So, like I said, could they take that route? I definitely think so. We're going to take a look at Deni's contract real quick because how does it compare to Kispert's contract? So, Deni Avdija will be making $15.6 million this year, and then it goes down from there. It goes to 14.3, then 13.1, then 11.8. So, look, I'm not the biggest math guy, but if you split $54 million 4 ways, you're looking around $13 million a year. So this is a cheap contract. This is a very team-friendly contract. So, like I said, they could go either way. If you choose to keep Corey Kispert here in DC, you have a guy on the cheap who's proven he can play at a high level. A guy who has proven to be a better player every year. A guy who has proven that he could be an under-the-radar leader here when you add him to Kyle Kuzma and Anthony Gill. You have another guy who is the longest tenured Wizard who can provide leadership if you move on from a Kyle Kuzma. I do believe that Anthony Gill is that leadership guy. I'm not going to say long-term, but definitely this season, man. He's much-needed leadership here in DC. But if they decide to move him, you have a guy who has a crazy cheap contract who has immense value, in my opinion. Everybody needs a shooter. You know what I'm saying? So he has great value not only to the Wizards, but to other teams who need a shooter. So it's one of those situations where I think this is another good move by Will Dawkins, man. Overall, has he made his mistakes to a certain degree? I guess, if you look at Size Jones, if you look at other things, maybe. But my biggest thing is that they've gotten, they've been able to sign Deni and now Corey Kispert to really, really team-friendly deals. And the ball's in his court. He has a lot of flexibility. And that's where you want to be as a GM. That's where you want to be as a team. You don't want to be handcuffed. You want to be, to a point where you can't make moves. You can't get better. You're relying on the draft but in this situation, again, we always revert to Deni because it was kind of a similar situation last season with Deni Avdija where, they re-signed him to a really team-friendly deal. And then they eventually moved on from him, after one season. So you could probably see the same scenario with Corey Kispert, with them signing him to a team-friendly deal Do they end up moving him in next year's draft or next year's offseason? That could be a scenario that you realistically could see with Corey Kispert. But like I said, I think that you win either way. Corey Kispert, in my opinion, has been a really good player here in DC, and I think he's going to get even better. And again, with this contract, he is very team friendly. I mean, it's ridiculously team friendly, man, because and like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do the math, man, because I'm not a math guy, so I don't want you guys to go ahead and take it from me. So we're gonna go ahead and split $54 million 4 ways because I am so trash at math, man. So let's go ahead and divide it 4 ways, and it comes to 13.5. So I wasn't too bad at that. But $13.5 million a year, this contract's cheaper than the Deni Avdia contract. Now, we don't know the specifics yet of the contract and how it's structured. It may be, front loaded like Deni's was. And that would give you kind of a clear indication. Because if you look at most contracts signed under Will Dawkins, man, Kyle Kuzma was front loaded. Deni Avdia front loaded. So you could probably see it. And once we get the specifics, we'll know. But you're probably going to look at a situation where it's going to be front loaded. So that's the big question, everybody. You guys get in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking, because I personally think this is a really good move. You sign him to a cheap contract because, look, he could have played hardball, honestly, because he's been a better player every year. But here's the thing. They decided him to a really team-friendly contract. You get a player, if you choose to keep him around in DC, which I think they should, you get a guy who has proven to be a sniper at a high level from behind the arc, a guy who can add it, his money at mid-range, a guy who can slash the basket, who's active without the ball, a guy who can drive to the basket, get to the free throw line, improve ball handling. I mean, basketball IQ through the roof. You keep a guy like that around, because if indeed you are down the road of being a contending team, you need a guy like a Corey Kispert on that team. Now, again, 4 years, look at the timeline. This, especially if you look at the importance of the 2025 and 2026 drafts. So you're probably looking at 2 to 3 more years of a rebuild till they get that point. And by that point, he'll have 1 year left on his contract. So, like I said, there's ways where you can see that they're probably taking the Deni route with Corey Kispert, and they might move him next offseason, bring his trade value up, and then move him at some point. But like I said, I'm in the camp of you keep Corey Kispert around. He's proven that, he's gotten better every year, and that's all you can ask for from a young player. And he has value, not only to this team, but trade value overall. People are starting to take notice of Corey Kispert, man, and the Wizards overall with the talent we have here in DC. So you guys get in the comment section and let me know what you guys are thinking, man, because I am definitely in the camp that you keep him around. But I know the business is the NBA, and I know that, look, you could trade him and get some value out of Corey Kispert. So I'm definitely in the camp of keeping him. But like Deni, because I was in the camp of keeping Deni, I totally understand if they decide to move on from him, because, like I said, this contract gives you the opportunity to get great amount of assets back, because his contract is crazy cheap, man. I mean 13.5, and that's if you split it evenly through 4 years. You're probably going to see a scenario where they're going to front load the contract like they did Deni and Kyle Kuzma. So, like I said, you guys get in the comment section and let me know what you guys are thinking. So, could Capital One have a new owner? Man, we're going to talk about it because there's a lot going on with the Commonwealth of, not Commonwealth Law, the District of Columbia and the Washington Wizards. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live, play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You can start with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. All right, everybody, let's get back into it. And so the question is, does Capital One have new ownership? All right, this story came from Josh Robbins of The Athletic. Definitely shout out to him, man. And it says, after months of negotiations with the parent company that owns the NBA's Washington Wizards, the Capitals, and the Mystics, which is Monumental Sports, the mayor of the District of Columbia has introduced a bill that, if passed by City Council, will sell Capital One Arena to the District of Columbia for $87.5 million and set the stage for arena renovations to be completed for the Wizards and Capitals by the 2027 and 2028 seasons. And it goes on to say, in April, the City Council unanimously, it's been a long day, y'all, unanimously voted to commit $515 million to the renovation project. Ted Leon says the Wizards and Capitals principal owner and CEO of Monumental Sports and Entertainment said Monumental has pledged to contribute a minimum of $285 million to the renovation of the arena and accept responsibility for any cost overruns. Back of house renovations in response to that would not inconvenience players or fans would start as soon as the mayor's proposal is approved by the City Council. After the Wizards and Capitals complete their 2024 and 2025 seasons. Renovations will begin on the player spaces on the arena's ground floor. Teleonsis goes on to say this will be the largest investment made in an existing arena in the country. Also says it's going to be messy. It's going to be a long and hard 3 years of deconstruction and construction, but we're up for the task. So, all right, y'all, it looks like 3 years is the timeline for a lot of things in the DMV, man. So, my response to this. Now, I made it known that the Washington Wizards, the Washington Capitals, the Washington Nationals, and the Washington Commanders should all be inside Washington, D.C. I know that, obviously, this is the DMV, D.C., Maryland, and the Commonwealth of Virginia. And everybody's had their own voices and opinions about, the failed possible move to Virginia. And a lot of people made it known, especially in D.C. proper and Maryland, how much they felt about that. And I get it, man. I get it. I'm a Virginia guy. I was raised in Virginia. Like I said, my roots go all the way down to the Tidewater. I'm all Virginia, man. Like I said, but I understand. Now, let me say this. I'm gonna kind of talk about two things real quick. Let's get into this first, and we'll get into the other move. When it comes to this move, with City Council eventually voting, because I think it's probably gonna go down, man. If I would willing to bet on it, with Mayor Bowser and the City Council eventually buying Capital One. And I think it also said that with this purchase, it keeps the Washington Wizards in D.C. at the earliest 2050, at the latest 2070. So you're keeping the Capitals, the Mystics, and the Wizards in D.C. for a very long time. And I think that's a good move because, like I said, it says Washington on it. It doesn't say Northern Virginia, and it doesn't say Maryland on it. Even though they represent the DMV area, it's the Washington Wizards, and they need to play in Washington. Same thing with every Washington team. I've never been a believer in Washington sports teams playing in Virginia or Maryland. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I've got a lot of boys from Maryland, got a lot of friends. I got family in Maryland. Shout out to Germantown, Maryland. I got a lot of family in Maryland. But my thing is this, when people from Maryland are upset about the possible moving of the team, I don't understand that because Virginia, we don't complain over here in Virginia. Like you said, we have people that make the drive all the way up 95 from the Tidewater area of Portsmouth and Newport News and Hampton and Richmond and support the team. And myself, guys, you guys don't understand. I drive an hour and a half to cover this team. So it's, Virginia, for us fans and analysts and people who work with the team who live in Virginia, man, look, that's a drive. It takes commitment to cover the team, support the team. So when there was that argument where, Virginia, I didn't understand it because it wasn't like it was being moved that far. It was being moved right across the river. And, and then when I look at sports in Maryland, like I said, shout out to Maryland. I got a lot of friends, got a lot of family. I mean, look, I'm a Virginia guy, but like I said, I have roots in Maryland. But here's my thing. How many sports teams do you need? I mean, you got the Ravens, you got the Commanders, technically. You've got University of Maryland. And you forget, you had the Wizards. The Washington Bullets played in Landover before Capital One was even an idea. So that's my thing. Like, number one, I definitely believe that every DC team needs to play in DC proper. They need to be within the boundaries of the District of Columbia. But like I said, when it came down to the whole argument between the other various, people of the DMV, Virginia and Maryland, I never understood why people were, and like I said, you guys get in the comment section, let me know what you guys are thinking. But this is my personal opinion, is that I never understood why people were so unwilling, because like I said, I'm not going to get into the specifics of was he right or wrong for trying to move the team. I'm not going to get into that because I don't care if the team is in Delaware. I'm going to go show up because it's my team. But the whole argument that, people were upset that they were potentially moving to Virginia. I mean, how many teams you got in Maryland? I mean, you got 2 NFL teams. I mean, the NFL team of Washington plays in Maryland. So, and I know a lot of people want them to go back to DC. And that's my point, is that DC teams need to be in DC. Not in Virginia, not in Maryland, in my opinion. Virginia, we got our college teams. You know what I mean? And in Maryland, you've got the Ravens and you've got college. So, this is a good move. Like I said, I wasn't pro or con the move to Virginia. I didn't really care, to be honest with you. I didn't, like I said, I don't care if they move to Richmond. I don't care if they move to Delaware. I'm a fan, so I'm going to support them no matter what. But here's my thing. This was the right move overall. And could you argue to a certain degree the failed attempt to go to Virginia was it the best case scenario for DC? Yes, you can argue that because This team didn't have no business going to Virginia. It had no business being anywhere else but DC. So you guys get in the comment section, because like I said, man, I kind of voiced my opinion today because this is a good move. DC's teams need to be in DC, but I also made a note. I don't understand, a lot of people to a certain degree kind of throw a little shade in Virginia, man, because like I said, y'all a little spoiled over there in Maryland, man. Like y'all got the Ravens, got the Commanders, let's DC have their team back. And that's kind of where I'm at. You know what I mean? I know it's, not everybody, but some people from Maryland gonna get on me, man. But you guys know me, man. I'm 100%. I'm gonna voice my opinions, and that's how I feel. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a lot of, fans for Virginia have a lot of sacrifice, man. And I think that I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put that out there because, I'm looking at areas like Richmond. I'm looking at areas like, look, I grew up in Northern Virginia, but I live an hour and a half away, man. I lived in the Shenandoah Valley. I drive an hour and a half away, and you guys need to understand that, that makes a difference, because when I go to the arena to go cover games, when I go to the practice facility, when I go do these other things to get content, I'm driving in 3 hours to do so for maybe 10, 15 minutes worth of content. And so you guys understand, where us for Virginia coming from when it came to a lot of the backlash, when it came to the potential move to Virginia. I never agreed with them going to Virginia. I mean, honestly, I didn't care, but because I think that, and it goes, most cities. I believe that if you represent that city, you need to be located in that city. Now, there are examples, obviously, in other sports. You look at the New York Giants and Jets, they play in New Jersey. If you look at teams like the Detroit Pistons, they play in Auburn Hills, they don't play in Detroit. So there are examples of that. But me personally, keep the Wizards, the Mystics, and the Capitals, Nationals, and the NDC, and bring the Commanders back. But like I said, I love y'all in Maryland, man. Don't get mad at your boy, man. But I'm just voicing my opinion, man, because honestly, when I saw the backlash for Virginia, I didn't understand it too much, because when you live in Newport News, you live in Hampton, when you live in Portsmouth, when you live in Richmond, you're taking hours to get up here and support the team. And a lot of people who live in Maryland, man, you're taking 30 minutes, if not an hour. I mean, it's a lot less than a lot of people from other areas of Virginia Tech, man. So that's kind of what I had to say. But like I said, you guys get in the comment section and let me know what you guys are thinking, man. So we're going to look forward real quick, everybody, and look what the itinerary is for the rest of the week, because we got some games coming the week. The NBA regular season is here, guys. So definitely let's take a look at that. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. So, guys, I am a big catalyst. I say this almost every time we run this ad, man. I am a big fan of asking for help. Me, of all people, I'm an Iraq war veteran. I grew up, had my issues growing up. I've had many reasons why talking to somebody who's kept me on even keel, has really changed my life, man. And like I said, BetterHelp is definitely something I recommend, man, because, look, if you're thinking about starting therapy, I would definitely recommend you give BetterHelp a try, because, look, number one, it's entirely online. Designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So it's all about you guys. It's all about, what makes you comfortable. When do you have the time to do that? It's all designed for your convenience. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So look, overcome your fears with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get $10 off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter, everybody. Introducing the Locked On Wizards Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with the all-new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. All right, guys, let's get back into it. And like I said, I definitely recommend the newsletter. Like I said, I wanted to, but I'm due to work schedule, I will be unable to contribute to it, man. But look, Locked On, man, as a network, is growing, and like I said, got a lot of people who are, a lot of experts on the NBA overall and the Washington Wizards, man. So look, just because it ain't your boy writing it, I definitely recommend you guys show some love for Locked On, and definitely subscribe to the free newsletter, man. It's free, man. You ain't paying for nothing. So like I said, get your in-depth news and up-to-date news with the Washington Wizards in the NBA proper. Definitely recommend that. So like I said, all right, guys, we're gonna look at the itinerary real quick, because like I said, the regular season is here. We covered a lot today, man. So like I said, I wanted to start obviously with Corey Kispert signing that 4-year, $54 million contract extension, and Capital One may be getting a new owner. And like I said, I'm supported 110%. I think it's a good move for DC. But like I said, I'll voice my opinion because, like I said, when Ted Leonsis was moving the team to Virginia, I feel like Virginia got a little bit of backlash, man, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that us fans for Virginia, it's a labor of love, man. Like I said, I drive an hour and a half, and that's without traffic, man, to get down here. And like I said, I know a lot of people, a lot of family members, friends, man. Shout out to the Tidewater area, man, in Hampton, Newport News, Portsmouth, the list goes on, Norfolk, and they make the trip up here, man. So like I said, I love y'all in Maryland, man. Like I said, I got family, Germantown, Maryland, man. I got my homies out there in Bmore, man. So like I said, much love in Maryland, man. But I think Maryland, Virginia, DC, we all can agree that this is the best move for everybody. Keep the team in DC. And that's where I'm going with it, man. So like I said, don't get mad, boy, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from, man. Like I said, I know you guys, that Beltway is a pain in the butt, man. So I ain't gonna say y'all don't go through nothing over in Maryland, man, because but then again, y'all drivers over there in Maryland, Lord have mercy. And we ain't too much better over here in Virginia either, man. So I'm just saying. So it's all love, y'all. So let's get into the schedule real quick. All right, so because this week, and obviously I'm going to do a proper preview for Thursday night's game against the Boston Celtics, but we're going to take a look at this week's schedule real quick because, like I said, we got a couple games, but and then next week it really kicks in the high gear with the NBA regular season. So, all right, looking forward, guys. Again, I will be doing my preview either tomorrow night or Wednesday night, and Thursday night at 7:00. The defending champion Boston Celtics will be in Capital One, and then Saturday will be the Cleveland Cavaliers game. Also at 7:00. All right, so obviously we're gonna go live after the Boston Celtics game as we always do, but I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, man. If you guys want me to go live on Saturday, because look, I'm here for you guys, man. So look, I'm here to give you guys the best content I can. So if you guys want me to go live on a Saturday, I will go live, man. So I normally do not. Me and Ed for the last couple years together, we don't record. We usually don't do Friday games, and we usually kind of respond to it on the Sunday episode, and the same thing with Saturday games, man. But like I said, I'm gonna try to change it up a little bit and get you guys more involved. So I'm gonna put the poll out right after this video. If you guys want to go live on Saturday, or may not after this episode, but sometime this week, I'm gonna put out the poll and kind of get the oil with you guys, man. If you guys want to go live on Saturday, so definitely let your boy know. All right, so real quick, next week again, we're gonna kick it in high gear next week. Tomorrow I'm actually gonna go through over games that I'm planning on covering the team. So I'm gonna put out all the games, and I'm gonna go over the schedule a little bit tomorrow and look at key games. Obviously, Daniel Gafford come back with the Mavs. Deni Avdija come back with the Portland Trailblazers, other kind of games. So we're gonna dig deep into the schedule, and we're gonna look at other factors like lineups this week leading up to Game 1. Opening night of the NBA regular season. So again, appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate everybody, man. Like I said, you guys know me. I keep it 100, man. Like I said, it's all love, man. I love from Virginia, Maryland, and DC. I even love Delaware. It ain't too bad. I even like me a little bit of Pennsylvania, man. But like I said, got love for you guys, man. So again, you guys get in the comment section and let me know what you guys are thinking, man. Because like I said, very exciting. It's gonna be a long season, guys, man. But we're gonna have fun on Locked On Wizards. I definitely appreciate you guys. I've said this time and time again. I owe my success. I owe the growth of this channel. I owe everything I do to two things. Number one, my boy Ed, the real Ed Oliver. Without him, I don't do this. Without him, I don't have the success. Without him, I don't do the things like credentials and all these other things. So shout out to my boy, my friend Ed, man. I know he's going to be watching this episode. So got love for you, brother. Definitely appreciate you, man. So, and two, to you guys, man, the support over the last 2 years, going to my third year, has been humbling. You guys rock with me. You guys rock with me through my rants, to the good times, the bad times, Bradley Bill to Jordan Poole. So I plan on being here for a while, man. So again, appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the love from the DMV. Appreciate all the love from Virginia, DC, and Maryland, and beyond, man. Like I said, international love. Locked On Wizards, man. We actually get a lot of love internationally, from China to Ireland, man. From Ireland to Nigeria, from Nigeria to Australia. So much love for everybody who loves the Wizards also. So appreciate you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Hail to the Wizards and peace. See you guys next time. Oh, hold on, guys. There we go. There's the outro. So again, let's try this again, guys. Hail to the Wizards and peace. I will see you guys tomorrow night.